Well, what's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Coaching Company podcast. We are here almost every single weekday when I am not traveling. Just a little added content to our Coach and Company universe. Now, you guys can watch on social media like most of you do, or you can watch live on our brand new YouTube channel, which is now separate from our wrestling content. So we have wrestling on the BTT page, and then we have Coaching Company and Weekday Wagers on our sports betting page. So this show, if you're new, just trying us out, it's never longer than 30 minutes, usually between 20 and 30 minutes. And we tackle topics that may have a betting angle to it, but most of the time do not, because at our core, all of us are sports fans first. So today, normally we do two or three topics, but we got into an incredible discussion in our production meeting. So I thought it would be pretty cool to bring it here to really get you to start thinking about how things used to be and how they still can be again. So last night, if you're just a sports fan and you just turn on a basketball game to watch it for the joy, not betting on it, not having a prop, not having a total, just to watch the game, there is no way that you are not watching last night and saying that is the best or one of the top five best playoff games of all time. And you throw in the fact that it was Madison Square Garden, it was New York City, it was the Knicks, who haven't been this far in a quarter century. It made it even better. 273 combined points. But that doesn't even begin to tell the story. The Pacers have become the cardiac Pacers this playoff season. They have three different wins in these playoffs when they were down by at least 7 points in the last 40 to 50 seconds. The live betting numbers, absolutely insane. At one point last night, the Pacers, the live number was plus 4,000. They scored 23 points, I believe I have that correct, in the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. There were 50 combined points in the last less than 7 minutes. Tyrese Halliburton hits what he thought was a game-winning three. If he didn't wear size 13s and wore 11 and a halves, it would have been. But that wouldn't have made for such a great story. It would have been phenomenal, but not the best part of the story. So then after he gets done, what does he do? He does the Reggie Miller choke thing, which will be on the back page. I haven't even looked yet, but I guarantee you the back page of the New York Post today has Halliburton doing this. Now, I will say, and he admitted it after the game, that he thought it was a game winner and that if he knew it was a two, he probably would not have done it. It did take it away a little bit. But with Reggie Miller sitting courtside, calling the game for TNT, it made it awesome. But it did take it away because he said, I can't use it again. It doesn't matter if we come back in game 5 and I do the same exact thing. You already did it once, and that's all you get. I don't blame him, though. I mean, it was a half an inch to a winner. But think about just the fourth quarter. It was so great that when TNT did their highlights after the game, they started in the fourth quarter. And as a person who did hundreds and hundreds of sports centers, I can tell you, if you're starting your highlight in the fourth quarter, it's a great game. And they did that last night. And when Shaq and Charles and Kenny have nothing bad to say about the game, you know that it was a great game. But my point is, rivalries are a great thing. What made last night over the edge for me was the fact that Reggie Miller was courtside. The fact that Reggie Miller the day before went on a live stream on Instagram or TikTok or one of those, and he sat in, I think it was Central Park in New York City, just waiting for fans to walk by and recognize him and then to see how they would react to him. Because for 30 years, he has lived rent-free in the minds of every Knicks fan that is over the age of 45. He had one of the legendary single-person comebacks in the history of the game. I don't have it right in front of me, but it was 9 points in 13 seconds, something like that. Turnover, hitting a three. It was insane. If you've never seen it, what are you doing? If you haven't, go to YouTube and look it up. Those are the kind of moments, ladies and gentlemen, that make rivalries what they are. That's why, as sports fans, we love sports so much. So it got me to thinking about other rivalries and things that are going on right now, but also things that have led up to today. In the last week, you've seen the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese controversy in the WNBA. Now, do I like the Ryan Clark RG3 back and forth? No, I don't. I think it's childish, and I think it's wrong on on Ryan Clark's part. I am also a black man who was married to a white woman. And I also just got out of a 3.5-year relationship a little while ago with a black woman. So I understand both. But to say that you can't understand it because you haven't is just short-sighted. And then when it becomes personal, that's when I draw the line, because I want to leave it in sports, which is what RG3 did. He used the word hate in a sports sense. Go back to the 90s, late 80s, actually, when Michael Jordan was a one-man show, literally, in Chicago. Had great seasons, great games, legendary score, couldn't get past Detroit, the bad boys. And then when he finally did, it was the greatest story in sports. 1991. He drafted in 1983, 84. But that's when he became a legend, because he was able to get over Detroit's bad boy bullying, beating him up. It was awesome. You either rooted for him, or if you like heels, you rooted for Detroit. But that's what it was all about. That's what I thought of last night. When I saw Caitlin Clark with a flagrant foul, and I agree with her. She's like, that wasn't a foul. It wasn't. And Detroit's bad boys would have laughed at that being called a flagrant foul 30 years ago or 36 years ago. The leagues have gotten soft. Protect from injury, they say. But it protects from having those really bitter rivalries that make sports what we love. Caitlin Clark has been unbelievably respectful to everybody in the league, including Angel Reese. I would probably respect what Angel Reese does if she would ever own being a heel. In 2003, I was asked by Vince McMahon, the CEO of WWE, Coach, we want to make you a character and we want you to be a heel because you can talk and you can make people care. It doesn't mean care about me. It was care about what they're watching. I literally did an interview the other day, and we're going to be releasing it very soon. And I got the greatest compliment that I can ever be given by another person in this space. And that is, man, I cannot believe that I'm on your show right now, but I hated you when I was a kid. Music to my ears. And I would love if Angel Reese could do the exact same thing with her heel tendencies. That's why she's getting a lot of this negativity towards her. It's not because she's black. Short-sighted. If Caitlin Clark did the same things that Angel Reese did, she would get the same kind of attention. If you're going to put your hand up and go like this in somebody's face on national TV in the NCAA tournament, that's going to carry over with you. When you go on a podcast and you say, man, I can't even pay my rent, I don't make enough money, knowing you're making $10 to $20 million a year in endorsement money. Not owning it, not being honest. Caitlin Clark is making north of $20 million a year in endorsements. She's still fighting for the salaries, but she's not out there saying stupid things like Angel Reese does on, we're going to sit out. We're going to pick it. We're going to sit until we get what we deserve. Clearly, she never took a business class at LSU, because what you deserve is what you bring in. I would love to say, coaching company, we deserve millions of dollars. That's not the reality. We haven't brought it in. We're not Pat McAfee. Own being a heel. It's 101. And guess what? You'll probably become more popular. I go back to WrestleMania in Toronto, a matchup we never thought we would see. The Rock against the legendary Hulk Hogan, the biggest star from the 80s, taking on arguably the biggest star from the late 90s and early 2000s. The mega powers battling each other. It was quite the pay-per-view event. We spent weeks building it up, weeks getting the fan base ready to either root for The Rock or root for Hulk Hogan. We thought that because Hulk had been gone for a while and he had turned heel in the NWO, in WCW, that he would naturally be the heel in this matchup. Normally, you don't have two baby faces or two heels in a match. This doesn't really work. But they surprised us. And so The Rock, being the great wrestling mind and entertainment mind that he has, he pivoted on the spot. If you go back and watch the video, they spent 8 to 10 minutes barking back and forth. 8 to 10 minutes. And we thought they were talking trash. And I had just done a skit with The Rock right before. It's one of, I've counted 3 times that I walked from the back, went out onto the floor, and stood there amongst the fans to watch something because it was that big to me. But they weren't talking trash. The Rock wasn't talking trash. He was changing the match that they had worked on for over a week, because when you're putting a match together, there's certain things you can do as a heel, certain things that you do as a baby face, certain things you cannot do as a heel. Hours and hours and hours they spent on this match for the fans to change it. They wanted Hulk to be the guy who was starting to age a little bit. Still rip off that shirt one last time. Beat the man who was a rising star outside of the WWE, a movie star in the making, just one more time. And that's how you build rivalries. That's how you get the emotion out of the fan base. That's how you get a main event. Last night in New York City, that was a main event. That was 2 heavyweights going at it. Back and forth, back and forth. That's what the WNBA would love to have. Now, it's a little different because you got a dynamic point guard who has the ball all the time, and then you got a big player inside. They don't play the same positions, but it doesn't mean you can't create something. But they'd have to both be on the same page. You'd have to talk to them behind the scenes and say, listen, we can manipulate this to our advantage. And Angel Reese, if you want to be paid more for your services on the court, you got to get more eyeballs watching the game. So when that contract comes up with the TV networks, they pay you more. And then the percentage you get will add to your salary. That's how it works. Pretty simple. But rivalries, that's what the WNBA needs moving forward. Don't move away from this rivalry. Play into it. Now, they can leave the nonsense, the racism, the race stuff at the door. But understand that in 2025, it still works. It still works. It's so funny how things get tied together. Because on Monday night, Tyrese Halliburton did a live shot on Monday Night Raw with McAfee and with Michael Cole. And remember, McAfee does his show from Indianapolis. McAfee played for the Indianapolis Colts. He loves Indiana. So they have made Tyrese, who's a gigantic WWE fan. And every time they come to Indianapolis, he's in the front row. He's not one of those fake celebrity fans, which we used to despise so much, where you show up in LA and they bring their agent backstage and they're glad handing everybody. And you say, hey, who's that guy? I don't know. Who's that girl? I don't know. But the true fans, we love them. Shaq. There's a reason everybody loves Shaq. Every time we came to LA, he was at the show. He had credibility with us. And that was back during the Shaq Kobe in team rivalry. But that made for great content, didn't it? God rest his soul. Kobe and Shaq, just trying to get them to get along to lead to NBA championships, that was incredible content. Don't shy away from it. Lean into it. Jalen Brunson. They have a t-shirt on sale at WWE Shop. By the way, you can get all of your WWE merchandise right here through the show. We always have the QR codes on the screen during the morning show on Stadium. Don't be scared. Helps the show. But now you have Jalen Brunson selling a t-shirt, WWE. You got Tyreek, who's going to be a character in the WWE 2K video game. Rivalries. So now what WWE can do in real time is play up the Pacers-Knicks rivalry using what they do. The video game, the merchandise, it all works together. Don't run away from it. Lean into it. It's part of what makes the NFL or has made the NFL what it is. Remember Tom Brady and Peyton Manning? You had Peyton Manning, the ultimate baby face. Oh, shucks. I love playing football. And then you had Tom Brady, supermodel wife, many Super Bowl rings, a life that the rest of us could only dream about having. They were incredible rivalry because of those two guys. It doesn't always have to be a super villain. It could be what we used to call a cool heel. The Rock used to be a very cool heel. What does that mean? It means that as much as we want to hate them or hate him or hate Tom Brady as well, there's a certain amount of envy that goes into being a fan of theirs. Wouldn't we all love to be Tom Brady? 7 Super Bowl championships. Now divorced, but married to a supermodel, biggest in the world for many years. His first woman that he had a child with also a major character on one of my favorite shows, Blue Bloods. So you look at the totality of Tom Brady's life, and we all look at it and go, man, even with the divorces, even with the negativity, life is hard. I'm divorced. We'd still want his life 1,000 times over. $300 million to call football games. And he's not even very good. But they pay him for the name. And what franchise did he just buy into? The greatest villain franchise in NFL history, the Raiders. Do you think that's coincidence? Tom Brady knows what he is doing. All those videos, all those shorts, all those reels of Tom Brady saying, most people are weak. Most people don't want to get out of bed in the morning and put in the work. Most people are good with being average. And that's what being great means. Greatness is hard to achieve. But to be great in any sport, especially a team sport, you need a rival. The Raiders, for years in the 70s and 80s, they had tons of rivals because everybody hated them. Then you had John Madden, who came in loud, rambunctious, would tell everybody as it were, but kind of lovable. I had the honor of being in Madden, the video game, as one of the voices for many years. And it is not lost on me what he meant to the game and how everybody at EA Sports used to tell me about him. He embraced all the work. He embraced all of the rivalries. The easiest thing to do, ladies and gentlemen, in life is to run away from something that is uncomfortable. In sports, that's exactly the opposite of what you want to do. Run into the storm. I saw a video on my Instagram last night, and I watch a lot of animal videos. So the algorithm sends me a lot of videos of animals. And there was a video that said that buffalo, when there is a storm coming, they run towards the storm instead of running away from it. Why? Because the buffalo somehow know if they run towards the storm, that it's going to last a lot shorter because they'll get through it than if they try to chase it as the storm builds up. Don't run away, lean into it. Life is kind of the same way. Sports is exactly the same way. If you run into controversy or run into difficult things, I do it all the time. Life is hard sometimes. Life sucks sometimes, but I try to lean into what I enjoy. And sometimes that means it's a little difficult. But if you run into it, deal with it head on, then it's going to be over faster. And then you can get to the other side where you want to be, just like the buffalo. As we head into game number 2 tonight between the Timberwolves and the Thunder, I would love to see Minnesota win. I would love to see Anthony Edwards stop being the immature, young, acting star and turn into a bona fide NBA superstar. Because then, as both play in the Western Conference, you can start to build a rivalry between Ant-Man and your newest league MVP, SGA. Because think about it, they're polar opposites. SGA loves to be that quiet assassin. 1 points in game 1, but I think 23 of them in the second half. Ant-Man is loud. Ant-Man is everywhere. Ant-Man, when they eliminated the Lakers, he walked from the building to their hotel right after the game, in the middle of the fan base, as they're shooting video and asking him questions. He embraces his inner heel, his inner villain. SGA would never do that. Hell, the Thunder would never allow him to do that. I thought it was an amazing video. I really did. But that's who it is. To have a rivalry, you have to have polar opposites or two guys that are on opposite ends of the spectrum. And I want to have that in the Western Conference. I want to have that. Luka ain't going to do it. LeBron has never had a true rival because LeBron is a babyface at heart. LeBron wants everybody to love him. Why do you think there was so much attention between LeBron and Stephen A. Smith? LeBron was the babyface. A lot of times people will look at some headlines on social media and believe that to be true. We did a deep dive. Less than 1% of the audience actually tweets and gives their opinion, which is why LeBron James has 100 million followers. It's why LeBron James is still the most popular player in the NBA. If you look at social media, oh, we hate LeBron. Oh, this LeBron. 98% of the fans either like him or are interested in what he is doing. So Stephen A., who I worked with at ESPN, who after his first run came back and he clearly said, I'm embracing my inner heel. I'm going to be a villain. And for every person that said, man, I'm tired of Stephen A. yelling all the time. I'm tired of Stephen A. every single day saying this and that, and I'm tired of it. But you watched. And he just got $20 million a year. $20 million. Because you guys were tired of it. You lean into it. I have no problems being a heel. I have no problems playing the villain because I know how to do it because I did it on worldwide television for many, many years. Not everybody is built for it. Not everybody can make the audience believe it's real. Some of the best advice that I got in my career is from Colin Cowherd, the great talk show host at Fox now, had a great show at ESPN. And he said, Coach, you want half of the audience to love you. You want half of the audience to hate you. You want 100% of the audience to watch you. Think about that for a second. So many of us want our clicks on our podcast, want people to come in and take our content in because we want them to love us. When I put out a wrestling take that is even the slightest bit controversial, my followers go up. When I put out milk toast, boring stuff, my following goes down. People want an opinion. They want to be moved. When they watch something, they want to care one way or the other. That's the secret to content in 2025. That's the secret to sports. Don't run away from it. Lean into it. The ultimate heel today, and we'll wrap it up with this, is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is 74, 75 years old. Doesn't matter. He's got a 7 in front of his name. The latest story is he is engaged to Jordan Hudson, his 24-year-old now fiance, reportedly, that he met 4 or 5 years ago when she was 21 or 20. You ask the question, what does a 74-year-old man have in common with a 24-year-old woman who did pageants? Who knows? But I know this, that in 2025, the old rules are out the window. I know not everybody agrees with it. I know not everybody says, hey, Bill, go get him. But why shouldn't we be happy with him? And whether he realizes it or not, he is embracing being the baby face because he's engaged to a heel. There's a rivalry there together against everybody else. And the heel, the villain, his fiance, is running the show. Bill Belichick has never had more attention on him than right now. You don't think he loves that just a little bit? When you get to the end of your contract, normally you ride off into the sunset. Normally you're playing golf. You're doing a little bit of TV. Not Bill. He's coaching college. He's got a 24-year-old girlfriend. So whether these young kids that are walking around North Carolina want to admit it or not, they're jealous of Bill Belichick. She's attractive, well-spoken, runs his stuff so he can coach and create a media company. Really? You're an 8-time Super Bowl champion winning coach. You made a gazillion dollars. Do you really need a production company? Vince McMahon years ago, I asked him, I said, you're a billionaire. Why do you go to every single show? He said, Coach, without missing a beat, I've got to have purpose to get out of bed in the morning. I would say that Bill Belichick is the same way. We're all the same way. If I have no reason to get out of bed in the morning, if I'm not doing coaching company, if I'm not doing coaching bro, if I'm not dealing with clients, if I'm not dealing with networks to try to make ourselves better and bigger, what is my purpose outside of being a great father and trying to be a better human being? That's my purpose. So tip of the cap to Bill Belichick. Whether he is engaged or not, he has engaged the attention of the audience. Don't run away from it. Lean into it. We are here every single weekday that we do the show. Remember, the next 4 weeks, we're going to be very busy. We'll be traveling around the country. Next week, I'll be doing the Memorial, the next signature event on the PGA Tour. And then we've got 3 big PFL events coming up after that. I would love it if you all could subscribe, like, and share to both of our YouTube channels, and also all of the PFL content that we put through Coach's Corner. I adore all of you. I love doing this, and I thank you all for supporting us as we take one step in front of the other every single day. That'll do it for now. Don't forget, tune in today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time or on demand for the Coach and Bro Show. The major discussion: has WWE already gotten way too far over their skis? That'll do it for now. There's only one. For Producer Man, I am the coach. This is the Coach and Company podcast.